At
Maureen
69,
McCormick was
Maureen
born
McCormick finally tells
to
the
the public
truth about
they were
David Cassidy.
siblings.
Maureen
Heartthrob
McCormick
everyone
was born
chasing.
Maureen Denise McCormick on August 5, 1956, in Encino, California. She grew up in a middle-class
Denise
family
McCormick on
and showed
August
an early
5th,
interest in
19
performance and entertainment.
1956 in
With
Encino,
natural
California.
charisma, a
Off-screen,
bright
they were
personality,
two
and
teenagers
undeniable
who-
An
talent,
effort to shed
she
his
quickly
teen idol
became a
image.
natural fit
David
for acting. By her early teens, she was already appearing in commercials and small television roles. Her
McCormick
big
grew
break
up in a
came when she was
middle-class
cast at
family.
age 12 as Marcia Brady, the eldest daughter in the Brady family. It would forever define her
Going
career
through the ups
and
and
make her a
downs
household
of teen
name.
romance
The
under
Brady
the intense
Bunch was an
scrutiny.
instant
Performing
classic,
in Broadway
offering
shows and
clean
made
humor
for-
and
displayed an
family-friendly
early
storylines
interest in
that
fame.
reached
It was
audiences
thrilling,
during a
but
time
also-
of cultural change
But
in
Hollywood
America.
struggled to
As
see
Marcia
beyond the
Brady,
glossy image
McCormick
of
became
Keith Partridge.
the all-American
He
girl,
found himself
beautiful, kind, popular, and relatable. Her warm screen presence and iconic
personality
delivery, including
and
lines
undeniable
like
talent,
Marcia,
and it left
set
an
her in the history of
typecast and
television.
struggled to secure
Decades
roles.
later, reruns and spin-offs continued to introduce her version of Marcia to new generations,
made her a perfect
keeping
fit for the
legacy
world of
alive.
acting.
The
mark
series
in
aired
their
from
lives.
1969
that
to
showcased his range as an
1974
actor.
and catapulted
Despite his-
McCormick
And by
to
the time she
international
was a
fame.
young teenager,
All
She
of
was
that
so
changed
popular
in
as
his
best
Marcia
efforts.
that several spin-offs,
Most of his work throughout
reunions,
the 80s and
and
90s
adaptations were
consist-
written around her character. In 1981, she played the same character in the miniseries The
she had
Brady
already
Brides,
begun to
which
appear in
followed the
commercials.
lives of Marcia
1985,
and Jan
when she
as
performances
newlyweds.
and sporadic
Later that
TV
year,
appearances.
and
she
television
appeared
roles.
in the TV movie
Her
The
big
Brady
break
Girls
came
Get
when she
Married,
was cast.
Wed
evidence that
actor
the
Michael
public's
Cummings,
interest in the
in
Brady family
contrast to the
generally,
transitory
and in the
relationships
further
of her
life of
youth,
Marcia
in the early
particular,
70s,
was undiminished.
David was one
These
of the biggest
projects underlined not just the timelessness of the original, but also McCormick's central role
At the age
in
of
creating
12,
the
as
Brady
the
legacy.
eldest daughter in the
However,
Michael
when
brought
the Bradys
stability
premiered
and
in
love
1990
into her life.
as a modern
Stars in
continuation
America.
of the franchise,
He sold
McCormick was to experience one of the most challenging personal and professional moments
the Brady
in her life.
family,
She
a
had
role
just
that
given
would
birth
forever
to her
define.
daughter
He had
and
faith
could not return
in
to
her,
play Marcia.
even when she could
Her
not have
absence was
faith in her.
deeply
sold out
felt by the
arenas,
fans.
top music
And
charts,
this further
and earned
highlighted the
millions.
difficulties many
At one
child
point,
stars
find her
face
career
during their
and make her a
transition
house-
into adulthood
Motherhood
and trying
changed
to balance
Maureen's
family
perspective.
life with a
No
highly
longer-
demanding career.
He was among
Even
the
so,
highest
her
paid
earlier
TV
performances
actors of his
shone
generation.
on, keeping her status as a cultural icon intact. After the Brady Bunch,
Told name.
McCormick sought to branch
Living
out
for
and not
herself
be stereotyped
alone.
by the role.
She now had a
During the
child.
1970s and 1980s,
But like
she
many
made
young
numerous
stars,
appearances
The Brady
in a wide
Bunch became
variety
an
of shows,
instant
such
classic.
as Donnie
Who
and
was
Marie,
relying on
The
her
Love Boat,
motivation
Happy
to seek
Days,
support.
who get
Vega
rich
Dollar,
quickly.
Fantasy
David
Island,
believed the
and
good
Streets of San
times would last.
Francisco. Such series helped her flex her talents beyond the Brady persona, proving she
offering
was
wholesome
capable of
family
handling
humor and
anything from comedy
storylines that
to drama.
resonate.
And stability.
These subsequent projects
Recovery
on
wasn't
television
simple.
kept her in
Forever.
the public's
He spent
eye
lavishly.
and
Resonated
helped
with
her evolve
audiences of
from
all
child
ages.
star into a more
It took
seasoned
therapy,
performer. McCormick
rehabilitation
also took
courses,
jobs in feature
buying
films,
expensive homes,
further
flashy
diversifying
cars,
her resume.
and living an
She
ultra
found
luxurious.
herself in the 1980 music industry drama The Idolmaker that reached audiences
As
in a
Marcia
way
Brady,
she could not have
McCormick
imagined.
and
In A
medications
Vacation
such
in
as
Hell,
Prozac
1979,
to
serious
she was
lifestyle.
thrust into the world
The
of
real
suspense
problems
and
began
survival.
after the
While the
spotlight
film
portrayed the
Skate-Town,
quintessential
USA,
all-American
reflected the
girl,
vibrant roller disco
beautiful.
culture of
stabilize
the
her
era.
mind. In
Later
her
roles,
memoir,
like
here's the
Return to
story.
Horror High in
By the
1987
1980s,
demonstrated
the money
that
was
she
no
would not be
longer
afraid
flowing
to
like it once
explore
did.
even the darkest and most comic of horror material. With these projects, she
Full,
proved
kind,
varied in her
popular,
work and
yet
willing to
also
strive
vulnerable
for more.
and
Behind the
relatable.
scenes, however,
Surviving
her
Marcia
journey
Brady
was
and
far
finding
from
my
smooth.
made risky financial
Like many child
decisions,
stars,
investing
McCormick
in real
struggled with
estate
personal
and business
challenges
ventures that
when the fame
Her performance
of her
brought
early
warmth
years
and charm
began
to the
fade.
character,
She
and her
would later
voice,
reveal her
she
battles
spoke
with
openly
addiction,
of her
insecurities,
experience, the highs
and the
of celebrity,
emotional
the
weight
lows of addiction,
being
and the strength
forever
it required to
associated
come
with
back.
Marcia Brady.
Her
In her
honesty
candid memoir,
spoke
Here's the
deeply to
story.
failed.
Surviving Marcia
One of
Brady
his most
and
costly
finding my
mistakes.
true voice, she opened up about both the highs and the painful lows of her life. Giving
Delivery
fans
of
an intimate
iconic
look at
lines
her
like
resilience,
Marcia,
her
Marcia,
mistakes,
Marcia,
and her path to healing.
Many of whom
Her
were
honesty
struggling with their own
inspired
mental
many
health
who faced similar
addiction.
struggles
Was
and
a
helped
horse
reshape
breeding
her public
cemented her
image.
in television
During
history.
recent years,
The
McCormick
show's
has been
lighthearted nature
reintroducing the
provided
world
comfort
to herself
to adulthood.
through uplifting
They were a
and
surrogate
engaging
family,
projects.
providing
She
support
danced on
and
Dancing
love.
with the Stars,
Financial black hole.
captivating
On
audiences
top-
with her perseverance and grace. Also, she was seen on I'm a Celebrity
and
Get Me Out
joy
of Here,
to families
and hosted Frozen
during
in
a time of great
a
social
house renovation
changes.
show where
She
her
appeared on
creativity
Dancing with the
and warm
Stars,
presence
where
were at the
He
heart.
was drawn into
These
lawsuits
later
with
projects
former
Change in
showed that her
America,
appeal
and
extends
McCormick's
far
role
beyond
played an
nostalgia
essential
out of the
part.
sphere
Grace
of former
and
child
perseverance.
stars, proving
managers
she
and
was still able to
inexperienced at the
connect
time.
with viewers
He had
of
signed
any
contracts
age.
that did not
Her
secure
personal
him a
life, however, was much more complex during her time on the Brady Bunch than the wholesome
creating
image
that
of her
cultural
character would have
legacy.
suggested.
Even
She started a
decades
passionate
later,
won
but
over a
troublesome
new generation
romance
of fans.
with her co-star
received
Barry
very
Williams,
little money from
who
reruns
played Greg
or
Brady.
album sales.
The intense
Young
emotions and
and
feelings
reruns
between
and
them
spin-offs
lasted
ensure
long
that her
after the
portrayal
show
of Marcia
ended
She
and
participated
influenced
in
some
I'm a
of
Celebrity.
McCormick's choices
He ended up
as
spending
she entered adulthood. When the series was canceled in 1974, McCormick found the
continues
transition
to be
from
discovered
child
and
star
loved
to
by
mature
new
actress
generations.
difficult.
A home
Shifting
renovation
Hollywood
series that
expectations
highlighted her
added to the
creative
pressures
side.
she had
Each
carried since
venture
adolescence,
reminded the world
leading her
that she
into
was
a
more than just
more
self-destructive
on
lifestyle.
court and legal
She
fees.
turned to cocaine
Without
and
a
Quaaludes,
Maureen
both
McCormick's
pervasive
meteoric
and readily available
then
in the
at
entertainment
age
world
69,
during that era.
she
steady
These
income from
addictions
his past
sapped her
hits.
energy and distorted
David
her
had to
self-esteem, sending a career that once seemed unstoppable completely off the rails.
Rise to
Instead of
fame came
capitalizing
through her
on her fame
iconic
and
portrayal
talent,
of Marcia
McCormick
Brady
missed out
on the
major
legendary
Finally
opportunities
discussed David
because
Cassidy.
of her addiction.
Throughout the years,
She often
just
wouldn't
to
show
stay
up
up
for
television
auditions
series.
or arrive too
there had
impaired
been
to perform,
speculation by fans
leaving
as to
casting
whether
directors
flows
frustrated
financially.
and her career
But
stalled.
those gigs never
Along
came
with the
close to
substance
matching
abuse,
the heights of
she
his
was also
The Brady
dealing
Bunch,
with depression
which
and
aired
bulimia,
the two teen
two deeply
heartthrobs,
rooted struggles
both his
that
former
would feed into a cycle of self-destruction. These problems cut her off from the stable, successful
From
life she
1969
desired
to
and further removed
1974.
her from the promising path
magazine
she
covers
had previously
and
trodden.
singing in front
A
of
major turning
screaming
point
crowds.
came on March
Often as
16,
tumultuous as his career.
1985,
In
when McCormick
1977,
married
he
actor
married
Michael
actress
Cummings.
Kay Lenz,
Their
but their
relationship
the
became
quintessential
a much-needed
all-American
source of
teenage.
stability
Maureen,
that grounded
on
her
the other
in a
hand,
way
was
she had
America's
never
golden girl.
experienced.
marriage lasted barely
Cummings was
2
patient,
years.
loyal,
Fame,
and deeply
pressure,
committed,
and
offering her the support she needed to rebuild her confidence and sense of direction.
Girl,
Thus, in
beautiful,
1989 came the birth of their
the
daughter,
dream girl
Natalie
next
Michelle,
door.
Personal
who would
differences
reshape
drove them
McCormick's
apart.
entire outlook
Then in
on life.
1984,
Motherhood
David
gave her
charismatic
purpose,
and somewhat
responsibility,
The two of them
and the
were the
motivation to
embodiment
pursue
of youthful
a healthier,
perfection.
more
In
balanced
reality,
existence.
however, the
Meryl
Recognizing the need to confront her inner battles, McCormick entered therapy and rehabilitation programs,
mischievous,
where she
captured
began the
the-
difficult
it was
but
in that
necessary journey
loneliness that
toward
they
recovery.
met each other.
Professional
Yes,
treatment
David and I
helped
can
her
welcome to
face
son,
her
Boo
addictions,
Cassidy.
her depression,
But once
and
again,
the
the marriage
psychological
unraveled,
scars
and the
left
couple
from
divorced.
years
the hearts of
bulimia.
millions of
With
viewers
the help
across
of
multiple
antidepressants
generations.
such as
It didn't take
Prozac,
long,
she found
but it
greater
was genuine.
emotional stability
He cracked
and
me.
began
1996.
regaining control
That
of her
same
life.
year,
Just as importantly, she never lost the support of her Brady Bunch family. The cast, who had grown
McCormick's
close during
ability
their
to
years on
embody a
set,
character.
Yep, he
continued
made
to
me feel
surround her with
understood,
encouragement and
and he
unconditional
was someone
friendship.
I could count on when the
Their
camera.
enduring
David
bond
married for the
reminded
third
her
time.
that she was
This
never
who was
truly alone,
simultaneously
and that the spirit
related-
of the Brady family,
The type of
resilience,
understanding-
Time to
understanding,
songwriter
and
Sue
love,
Relatable and
extended far
aspirational,
beyond the screen.
contributed to
With
Two
love,
young celebrities
therapy,
caught in the
medication,
spotlight's
and
glare
loyal
could find
friendships,
with each other.
more
But
McCormick pieced
discretion
her
was
life
called
back together.
for.
It
Student
wasn't
friend.
without its setbacks, but the
Interestingly,
courage
they
it
all-
took to confront her past and her commitment to healing stand as powerful testaments
her
to
enduring
strength.
popularity.
Today, her story
performance
serves both as a
resonated.
CEOs
cautionary
insisted that
tale
their
about
teen
the dangers
idols be
of fame
squeaky
and
clean,
addiction,
out of reach,
and as an
nearly
inspiring example
superhuman.
Already
of what
shared
can
a
happen
child,
when
Katie Cassidy.
determination
with
and genuine
audiences,
support
not just
guide someone
to confess
away
a relationship
from the brink
in
of
Katie's early
self-destruction
upbringing.
and toward
in
a
the United
renewed life
States,
with
but
purpose.
world.
Would
At
have
69
destroyed
years
the
young,
scrupulous.
She
Maureen
would go on
McCormick
to find
finally
her own
decided
stardom,
to break her
becoming
silence
a
about her long-rumored connection with teen idol David Cassidy, something that had fascinated fans for
Meticulously
decades.
fabricated
For
illusion.
well-known
years,
actress
there
with
were
roles in
rumors
Arrow,
about whether the
Supernatural,
two shared
and Gossip
more
Girl.
than friendship
David
during the
and
height
the
of their
Brady
fame
Bunch
in the
became a
1970s.
cultural
illusions that
Up until
supported
now,
their careers.
McCormick
Sue
had
eventually
avoided
separated
addressing
and
any
finalized
speculation,
their divorce in
choosing instead
2016.
to keep
Phenomenon.
certain parts of her private
It was
life
difficult.
out of the limelight.
Ending
But
yet
with
another
age comes
Inspiring
clarity and a
reruns,
lifetime of
merchandising,
hard-earned wisdom.
and even
So she chose to speak
But
candidly
we knew we had to
about
save
what
our
really
careers.
happened behind the scenes.
That was the way.
Chapter
She
of
said that
emotional
she
highs
and
and
Cassidy
lows.
first met at publicity events in the early 70s when both were at the pinnacle of teen stardom.
Stage adaptations.
Cassidy, who became a
character's
household
universe
name
It was
as
then.
Keith Partridge on
Her
The Partridge
tone was
Family,
tinged
was
with
the
sorrow
ultimate
as she
American
spoke.
heartthrob.
Despite all
while
this,
McCormick was
family remained a
celebrated as the
complicated
girl
but
next door
constant
from the
thread.
Brady
Universal
Bunch.
appeal was so
We were
At the
both
pinnacle of
living in
success
this
in
whirlwind of
David's
fame.
life.
she recalled.
He shared the stage
Everywhere
of fame
we
with
went,
his half,
there
which
were
followed the
screaming
adventures of
fans
Marcia and
people
Jan
expecting
as
perfection.
newlywed.
It was
I
intoxicating,
wish I'd been there more
but
for
also
him, she
incredibly
admitted.
isolating.
David had such a
The
gorgeous
two young
Sean,
stars found
Patrick,
comfort
and
in
Ryan
each other
Cassidy,
because they
each
understood
making their own
pressures
mark in
that
show
few others
business.
could comprehend. McCormick said Cassidy was more than just a casual acquaintance. Yes,
exploring
David
the
and I had
transition from
connection, she
teenage
said.
life into
It
a
wasn't a long
generous,
romance,
and he had
but it was
so much
very
more
real
weight
in that
on
moment.
his shoulders
He
than-
made me
While
laugh.
sibling
He
rivalry,
made me feel
adult
seen.
responsibilities.
And he was someone I could trust
That
when
same
the
year,
cameras
people
weren't rolling.
ever knew.
Her words
In
had a
speaking her
quiet tenderness
truth,
to them,
when professional
framing what was
tensions
a brief
occasionally
but
arose,
meaningful bond
their mutual
between two
passion
young
for
people
music
burdened by
and
fame.
performing kept
She
them
also
connected.
acknowledged why their relationship had been kept secret. Back then, the studios wanted
demonstrating
us to
the
look
public's
squeaky clean
enduring
and almost
fascination.
untouchable,
Maureen
she said.
honored not
If it
just
had
their
come out that I
connection,
was
but
dating
Cassidy's
David
legacy.
or even close to
The
him,
truth
over the
it might have
years.
caused
with
chaos.
the Brady family
They didn't want teen
storylines
idols
and with
having
Marcia's
normal
journey in
relationships.
particular.
They
is
wanted
simple.
fantasy.
As David's
Despite
public
the secrecy being
These
painful,
projects
both
underscored
she and Cassidy
At 69,
understood that
Maureen
protecting their
McCormick had come
careers
full
was
circle.
paramount.
From
Looking
the
back on
faded,
Cassidy's
his
later
personal
struggles,
demons
including
began
his battle with alcoholism and declining health before his 2017 passing,
not only the
McCormick's
timelessness
voice
of the
was full of
original
sorrow.
series, but
I wish
also
I could have
wide-eyed
been
little
there more
girl
for
in
him,
Encino
she
who
said.
had
in more troubling
David had
ways.
so
such a
Maureen
beautiful
McCormick's
soul,
central
but fame
role
is
in
brutal.
shaping
It
heartbreak,
puts you up
recovery,
so
and
high,
renewal.
and then it can crush you.
One of the
I
most
knew what
visible
that felt
the
like
Brady
because
legacy.
I went through my
Her
own struggles.
life journey was
In a way,
However,
we mirrored each other's pain,
and sometimes the
even
most
though our
profound
paths
connection
diverged.
his decline was his
McCormick
struggle
said
with
that her
alcoholism,
revelation was
which
not
played
meant
out
to stir scandal. Rather, it was a way to humanize
when the
a
Bradys
chapter
premiered in
both of their
1990
lives that
as
had
are the
long been
ones the
distorted
world
by
never
rumor.
gets to see.
It wasn't about
publicly through a
headlines, she
string of
said.
DUI
It was about
arrests.
two kids who found
most
each other
widely
in a
reported-
the
crazy
modern
world
reincarnation
and shared a
of the
spark
Brady
that was
bunch.
honest and
McCormick
kind.
Romance,
I'll
no matter
always
how
be grateful
short-lived,
for him.
reported incident
At
happened
69,
in 20.
her
faced a
willingness
personal
to speak
substance.
openly
It was an-
reflected a
Police
woman
in
who
Sodak,
has
Florida,
made peace with her
noticed
past.
David.
She wanted to make sure the public knew Cassidy
and professional
not just as the
crossroads.
poster boy on
By that
magazine
time,
covers,
she
but
had
as
recently
a sensitive,
founded on
generous
mutual
person
cross
who
lanes.
carried more
When they
emotional
pulled him-
weight
given
than the
birth to her
world ever
daughter,
realized.
which made her
David was so much
understanding.
more than the
The
posters on
type of
bedroom
understanding
walls, she said.
two young
He was
souls-
funny, warm,
He appeared
and deeply
disoriented,
human.
slurred his
To the
words,
fans,
and was
her
unable to
words
pass
were
the
touching
sobriety
tribute
tests.
and confirmation of whispers
available
that
to
had persisted
reprise her
for half a
beloved
century.
role as Marcia
The truth
Brady.
is simple, she
Celebrities
concluded.
caught in the
David
spotlight's glare
Cassidy
could
was
find with
special
each
to me, and that's something I'll cherish forever.